Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are going to be eating good. We're going to be casting good. We're going to have some pretty nice matches here. Terran Mirror between Mystery Meat and Shopkeeper Doug. Joining me for the cast is JujiK. How are you, sir?
Hey, doing well. How you guys doing?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I'm pretty sure that these guys are also doing pretty good. We got lots to talk about between the veto, the players, their histories, or lack thereof in Dog's case as he's new on the block. And also, of course, thinking about how, this mirror matchup is going to go. But I say we ask our players if they are ready to go. And if so, we get started because I want to make sure that we get them rolling since we always got to jump straight into the Rageslave, which is our first map. And I got to say, as JujiK, you're a little bit newer to the project. Dog is less new than you, but he's been taken to Terran quite nicely. Mystery Meat is an old legend. You can think about him as a guy who won 5 out of 6 tournaments. The first 6 tournaments that we played, he won 5 out of 6 of them. The only reason, in my opinion, that he didn't win the 7th tournament that we ran was because he literally could not play, had to drop out at the last second because he had to go on a surprise trip or something. And hasn't really been back since, last year. His first tournament appearance was the Fraud of July. We thought maybe we could get him in for the May Royal Invitational, but he got locked out of his apartment, and then months later, he finally got let back in. That's the lore. I don't actually know what happened, but Now he's back, he's playing, he's grinding, and he's our top left. I'm going to just call this one dark green. Forest green, of course, and it can't be simple. Forest green Terran in the top left. While Dog over here in the mid right, we have the aggressive spawns. It should be noted is this Platinum blue? It is. Okay, I got one of the colors right at least. He is our Terran in mid right. And, Mystery Meat going for his bio with a Stockade. Compare that to the Fulcrum. Dog does not like Stockade. He has totally discounted bio entirely. And he was typing earlier in the CM Talk channel about how he's done that. He's completely ignored it. And he has no idea what the timings are for that. And so I feel like that could be an edge for Mystery Meat, but we have to see if that can stand up to the bio.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to be coming in with an advantage of knowledge on some of the finer things about the game. A lot has probably changed since he was here, though, well. So,
yeah. I don't know if you were watching because I think you were casting the undercard when Mystery Meat was playing, but he was playing against Arbuz Budesh, and it was like 3-gate into 6-minute, pushes that Arbuz just ran him over with. Against the Night Fox, he was able to eke out some victories, but against Arbuz, he really didn't stand a chance. He's definitely looked a lot better. He's going for his pocket strat here, which is the star pad after the Stockade. So he is going to go ahead and try to drop his opponent. Dog scouted the wrong way. Mystery Meat also scouting the wrong way. I gotta point out, Dog Meat. I mean, come on. That's obviously the name of this series. If they ever make a team together, that's pretty easy. Slam dunk name. But there you go. The scout gets warded off. He sees bio. He's got his quarry under construction. Vulture out with the mine. Cyclops in production. So I feel like Dog is going to be sitting pretty here. It's really dependent on if this star pad with the fast, if it's going to be Trojans or if it's going to be Wraiths. I mean, it's actually a second star pad. That points to Wraiths. If that's going to get some victories, I mean, Mystery Meat could start running leaps and bounds around the Dog already.
Now we're getting a second star pad, so looks like maybe we're going to see some Wraith play as well out of this. Obviously, I think the Trojan first might be the good call here. I don't know if the one Stockade is going to do it, though. It's just you kind of want to lean on the 2 Stockade to get a huge advantage in numbers early.
It definitely could be a good play to go for double Stockade, but if you're going to go double star pad, you're basically just trying to hold as cheaply, as sort of greedily as possible. But look at Dog. He's already got his Cyclops in a defensive posture. He did say in the lobby that he has zero idea of what Mystery Meat's playstyle is like, but I feel like maybe he knows a little bit more than he let on there, because he's already got his anti-air in a spot where he could accept an incoming drop. And Mystery Meat not going for that. He's going to go for raid, so the attack will hit later, which might actually be the perfect time. Dog, meanwhile, keeping his wounded Mason on the ramp, or the bridge rather, that is like the main angle of attack into his sphere. So he's going to see if he can just bide his time. He's kind of insulating himself versus ground attacks and air attacks. But if the Wraiths hit in enough numbers, Cyclops will not actually stand up to them. It's a funny interaction, but I swear it's pretty damn good in favor of the Wraiths once you get enough of them. So see if Meat's micro is on point.
Yeah, the thing about the Cyclops as well is they don't really do a lot of damage outright to the dropship, so it's kind of hard for them to repel it.
Yeah, that's right. They can't really stop a drop, and they can't stop the Wraiths in particular because you know, they have to get pretty close to attack, and then you have to decloak them in the first place anyway. So the anchor on the high ground, that should tip Dog off, tip him off a little bit to the idea that, wait, you don't have an expansion? It's possible you're building it in base and then going to lift it. But the fact that I didn't really see anything, he just doesn't have that much info, but he should feel pretty safe. And all of his Cyclops are being rallied into his own base, right? So he can respond to this threat pretty fast. And actually, I think he saw that. He was very quick to react to the Vulture being, you know, revealing some of those on the minimap. So he should feel pretty safe at this point. He's going to come in, see if they can pick some stuff. They don't have enough to one-shot Masons just yet, so he's going to get a couple of nice picks here, but the Cyclops are in position to start dealing with this threat. Pepper down the Wraiths a little bit. Looks like it's all good, but I do feel like, even though it's like, oh yeah, great, you killed 3 workers, I mean, he's still down 3 workers, and the quarry's finished on the treasury, so I feel like Dog will be in an okay spot, but he is taking his sweet time to respond to this threat more directly, so...
Yeah, Mystery Meat's kind of floating a lot here. I hope he goes for an expand, maybe.
Yeah, it could go for a Ministry at this point with all the minerals. That is something that if you go for 2-pad Wraith versus 3-pad, the difference it makes is pretty considerable in your mineral expenditure. So he does have his Shaman out for that healing. Very important. The Wraiths could have caught that Vulture, but a little bit slow to respond there. He's going to have to stem these Mavericks out to stop his Mason from going down. But Dog actually not really too concerned with that. Only now expanding his production with a Stockade, probably for the Vestry add-on. He's actually going double Stockade, so that's interesting. Probably wants to pair Hurricanes with the Cyclops. But is that going to be enough for the Wraiths? I think he wants to rely on the Wraiths, but we'll see. We'll see if they're mobile enough. Not yet enough to one-shot.
He's softening a lot of them up, though. It's really nice. There's no Vestry out yet for Shopkeeper Dog.
Yeah, no real sense of automatic healing. The problem is that the Shaman will clearly be the sense of automatic healing, and Mystery Meat has to watch out for his Wraiths to all get splattered like that. However, the Cyclops are starting to get hemorrhaged. That was a tight fight. It kind of like glass cannon on glass cannon there with the Wraiths starting to do a lot of damage to a lot of those Cyclops. But it's narrowly enough for Dog to take the advantage. You have to think if maybe the Shaman was parked across the bridge instead, maybe that would have helped Meat out a little bit, but let's see what the shuffle is.
Yeah, Shopkeeper Dog's in a really good spot. He had his expansion up quite a bit earlier, and he's only up a couple workers right now, but with the Ministry down as well, I mean, this is not as behind for him as I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because we still don't have any quarries. The 3rd star pad being added now for Mystery Meat, signaling he's going to commit to the Wraith play. And you know what? If the Wraiths are enough to deal with Cyclops, I feel like it's going to be a funny little flourish to say that. Because, you know, everybody keeps telling me Cyclops are really powerful. But here they are getting slapped down by Wraiths.
Yeah, that's
still.
a good pick.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those are so low. You can see him just diving in. If he has that Shaman in another spot at some points, he's got double Shaman. They're going to rally to the middle of the map by the gas. So that's a great spot for those Shamans to make themselves known. And more Wraiths rallying forward. I think the tempo is here nicely. We do finally have some Cyprians out from the Stockade to try to deal with the Wraiths a bit better. But if that anchor, you know, doesn't come up in time, the Wraiths can still do a lot. So we got to be careful here.
The Shopkeeper Dog hasn't actually gotten anything here out of the star pad yet, except for the Trojan. We don't see any. I think obviously if we can get an Ancil out here, that'd be really nice.
Yep, I think so too. You can see him kind of hedging his bets. He goes for the Phalanx instead of the Madrigal. Gotta watch out because the Cyprians are dealing a lot of splash damage to all those Wraiths. Looks like only one of them ends up going down, but that could have been really disastrous if they stuck around a little bit longer. By the way, the Phalanx, if that gets deployed, it loses all of its armor. Wraiths pick it surprisingly fast at that point. 3rd base coming for Mystery Meat. Now Dog is just kind of quizzically wondering, what do I do? Add more Fulcrums? Still going for the Phalanxes. Maybe he wants to go for a Phalanx drop. That would explain the Trojan. But the Trojan was spotted by the Wraiths. So if Mystery Meat is kind of cognizant of that, he can maybe preemptively go for something about that. He dives back in, not picking the Phalanx after all, but does put a lot of damage onto it. Only losing 1 Wraith so far. He's going to go ahead and irritate some of the Masons over here, stop them from producing fulcrums. Just annoying, and taking the worker advantage despite not building a single quarry. This is probably blowing Terran's minds at home right now.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of taxing shopkeeper dog's APM here. Just kind of keeping him busy, keeping him jumping around everywhere, trying to deal with these.
By the way, it's worth pointing out that the one of the things that recently was changed about the Madrigal was that its splash radius on its anti-air attack while mobile was increased. So just something to point out if people were doubting it. You know, in this particular case, it seems like the obvious choice. But Dog is, just like he was kind of discounting Bio, as I mentioned at the beginning of the recording here, it's worth pointing out that he also thinks that, you know, the Madrigals are maybe a fake unit. He's not sure if Phalanxes are even a real unit. Like, the guy's got some interesting opinions. But, you know, these Cyprians are definitely doing him wonders to zone away those Wraiths. But the double Shaman in the middle of the map is still helping out. And without uprooting that position as Dog, it can feel oppressive. Like, how do I get past this? And I gotta hand it to you, JujiK. You're right about the Ant Seal. If we had a couple of those out, suddenly defending against the Wraith Burst Fire, providing vision so that you can attack them before they can get into weapon range, both good things.
Yep. And here we go. 17 Wraiths coming in, trying to pick off something here. Good pick on a medic.
Yeah, they do need to get out of dodge, because remember, they are pretty vulnerable. Looks like 2 of them will end up going down. At the end of the day, they go away with a Maverick, a Cleric, and a Cyclops. Not the most illustrious pick, and I feel like at this point, the mech army, the ground army, it's strong enough for Dog that he doesn't really need to worry about this as much. I'm wondering where all the Wraiths went. Oh, okay, they're still in the middle of the map there. It's actually transferring some Masons down there to start harvesting from the Vespene, which is a nice cheeky play. Still producing a lot of Wraiths, but starting to get a mass of Phalanxes of his own. It's like Phalanx Cleric. Dog trying to move out and maybe take control of the third base, or just try for a military move out. And still, you know, you got still rocking 15 Wraiths, most of them healthy. Not very much splash damage. Cyprians couldn't keep up there.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of just picking off little units here and there and just keeping Shopkeeper's numbers down, keeping his ground army from being able to really move out and make a really strong play.
Yeah, you can see now Dog thinking about maybe pushing to the bottom of the map. The Ministry, I thought maybe it would still end up going to the mineral only, but no, he wants the Vespene. Big money in the banks for all players here, both players, especially minerals. Starting to spend a little bit of that down, but I think with the extra Vespene from the middle of the map, plus the mineral only that's been established for a very long time, Dog could pressure the middle right now and stop this little Shaman outpost from really coming to life, but I don't know if he saw it. I don't know if he noticed the Masons harvesting or if he wasn't in sight range or what. I feel like ships in the night right now are passing each other by. And you know what? This force back at home, not very powerful here. Dog could get pressured by the 21 Wraiths. Atlas started in the main for Mystery Meat. Needs to pick these Cyprians, or otherwise his Wraiths are just going to start crumbling. Looks like he's gotten the signal. He needs to head back home. Only a couple of Mavericks left over in that anchor. Phalanx is splattering a lot of the Cyclops and a couple Clerics here and there. Only a few Masons end up going down. Nice liftoff timing there. So still a healthier economy for Mystery Meat despite the worker count disparity. Remember that this middle area has been allowed to fester, I would say, from Dog's perspective. He doesn't really know about it just yet, but he's about to find out, I feel like. Unless his units still continue hugging the sort of top strip single file, which I guess they are doing. Dude, imagine if he passes by this base on both angles and still doesn't see it being harvested from. JujiK, how has that happened? How has that happened?
I have no clue.
22 Wraiths up for Mystery Meat. Already putting down a Ministry. It's going to tank up a lot of the damage that could come from this force if they approach from that side. As you see the Wraiths canvassing the southern entrance. So Mystery Meat kind of intuits that, okay, well, my Atlas is nearly done. Soon I can start putting down some Sentinels. You must be coming in from the top. He's now going to get the signal that indeed that's what's happening. The anchor getting a little bit of shellacking happening. And this is a really hard angle for Dog to try to approach from. The Wraiths are going to come up from the south as well. By that point, I think the Cyprians are mostly going to be peppered down. You can see they're going in for the little snipes here and there. Only 2 Cyprians left standing. 20 Wraiths can happily deal with that. But the Ministry was canceled at least, so there is that.
I think Shopkeeper Dog might have just waited around too long because now Mystery Meat's transitioned off. He's got more tanks on his side of the field as well, and he still has this huge threat, you know, roaming this map. And I mean, really, it's just like trying to deal with these. How do you do it, you know?
Yeah, the mineral-only base could get shut down immediately. No defenses with 34 workers on the third base in the bottom right. That is about to get stumbled into by these wraiths. Yep, Mystery Meat's aware. He can just hold position here and start eviscerating this worker line. Reaction time not too bad here for Dog, but he's lost a lot of those Masons, and he doesn't really have any military forces that can be sent down there. Sure, you got some Cyclops and a couple Cyprians, but honestly, if I'm Meat, I just kill these units too. Why not? Nothing really stopping me from doing it. There's the one Cyprian, and that's it. He does start to fall away, but still, he only lost, what, 2 wraiths, 3 wraiths from that whole stack? And look how many workers he killed and continues to kill.
Yeah, 3 more rallied back at the secret base. It's
He's very secret, hiding in plain sight. My man. Mantle's on the way now for Mystery Meat, so he's sitting pretty at tier 2. Shopkeeper Dog, no such thing. He's got a lot of minerals, but not much Vespine. Putting a lot of Watchdogs down. I feel like those can be good, but we're kind of at that point where our critical mass of wraiths could have been established. As you mentioned, though, not actually the case. A little interesting tidbit about this map is that this treasury is on unbuildable terrain. So if you blow that up, you actually have to distance mine it back to those like satellite bases in the middle. So you can't really reestablish it. There's not really an option for that. Now, finally, the vultures might see it. No, I guess they still didn't. They see the 4th base coming in up here. But look at all the 32 wraiths. My guy. Yeah, those vultures ain't going to be able to do too much. They get a little bit of map control and definitely reveal where those wraiths are. But look, I mean, Dog is taking a lot of expansions. You got to give him credit for that. But sticking it out on tier 1 doesn't seem like the play. We got Cataphracts, we got Sentinels, all coming online here for Mystery Meat. He will have the opportunity to push forward. And there's not really much splash damage, right? There's the 1 Cyprian. Okay, there's a couple more here and there. Can't be getting caught on your, with your pants down here as the wraiths. You do have to kind of kite backwards. You can try to snipe the Goliaths down, even though that might seem like a bad idea. But the Cyprians, when they're there, they are actually the threat. So,
yeah, and he was doing a really good job that fight of just picking them off as soon as they came into range, so they didn't really get a good amount of damage off.
Oh man, Mystery Meat actually has another Ministry kind of hovering over here. If he sends that down to the bottom left or the 9 o'clock position, he will reveal some of these hidden bases that they aren't actually in play right now. Like, they're not doing anything, but they are... well, okay, never mind. He's figured it out. He's just going to build Sentinels in his face. I love that. Hey, the Atlas is halfway done for Dog. He's scaling up. He's learning.
I wonder what the transition is going to be here. I mean, because Mystery Meat in the same token is kind of giving him plenty of time here. If you look, he's kind of cockroached every base on the entire map. Yeah,
no kidding. Especially with the wraiths being here, that feels like a big missed opportunity. You got to watch out, because that is controlled demolition or emergency detonation. Actually, would have been a really big play there to kill a bunch of wraiths, but goes underutilized. Lundier in shambles. These wraiths fall on back as the attack force comes across the bridge. Prime opportunity for a shellacking of those phalanxes. Can't really deploy that in range. There you go. Picked off immediately. Got to fall back, though. These wraiths, sure, they can do some damage, but there's still the Cyprians in play. We've got, what, 7 phalanxes versus about the same on the other side? Dude, I feel like this is peak TvT right here. Those Cyprians are going way too close. They're leaving the phalanxes completely unprotected, and all of the anti-air is gone as the wraiths start to pick apart the rest.
Yeah, the tier 2 was up behind this, but we're only now seeing the starports go down. Obviously, in that kind of engagement, it's kind of hard to find the time to go back and do it, but...
Yes.
15 wraiths still alive.
Yeah, it's just... They have been the MVP here for Mystery Meat. Cyprian's out. They're going to thin the herd. A lot of these are like 2 or 3 hits away from dying, so many of them end up going down there, but... you've denied the mineral only. The bottom right base is up and running, but you can send any ground forces down there, and it's dead. Like, there's only Masons. There's no ground defense there whatsoever. And now you're starting to see a little bit of a soft contain come up here, with more Cataphracts coming online. I can't believe we're already 20 minutes into this game almost. I mean, it feels like it just started with all the Wraith antics. A very active game. Very bloody one.
Yeah, absolutely. The Shamans are really MVP as well, because, I mean, just having this position set up here allowed them to just continue to pressure nonstop.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, those Masons that were idle at the bottom right are being transferred to bottom left. That's a main base. I mean, if the Wraiths don't find them, which they didn't, they arrived too late to see evidence of the Masons traveling.
No, but the Ministry...
Ah, the Ministry's going to reveal it. That's perfect here for Mystery Meat. He's going to get warded off by these Watchdogs as soon as they are revealed. He sees, okay, you got a lot of Watchdogs. I'll maybe pick off some of your gas workers, but that's okay. Your Wraiths can go somewhere else, my friend. There's a whole thing in the bottom left that you're going to want to deal with. Cataphract's starting to get hectored in by these Phalanxes. Some nice mine coverage here in the south. That is going to interrupt any sort of crossover attempt. The Ministry has landed.
From Shopkeeper Dog.
Yeah, Valkyries are okay for the Wraiths. I almost feel like maybe he's giving the Wraiths a lot of credit, but Mystery Meat has transferred out of the air army entirely. He's not making any more of them, right? So, a lot of minerals in the bank here for Mr. Shopkeeper. Some Cyprians being destroyed. That's a big gas tax. Valkyries, obviously, could be forces to deal with the...
Cyprians. Oh, no.
Ah, there it is. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's just it's a tough one.
Rough for Shopkeeper.
Yeah, Wraiths in the bottom left as well. Mind you, Shopkeeper Dog was the higher seed. He picked Rageslave. So that is... it's going to always feel bad when you give up your own map pick, but that is the way it's looking right now. He's going to hold on to the bitter end, though. Gorgon's on the way.
He's making Gorgons, yeah. So he's got, was it 4 Valks now, or the other ones?
Yeah, I think the rest of them must be... Yeah, they're kind of hovering in there where he put the mines north of his south bridge, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that should be able to take care of any continued Wraith production. So he's just got to find something to match this mech army, but he's definitely way behind at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, 9 o'clock is up and running here for Mystery Meat. He still had this gas base, mostly, you know, unattacked, unharassed. It's only got 4 Masons on it, so it could be better off at that point, but still a lot of extra Vespene, and of course, the Shaman's in place. I'm kind of surprised. I really am aghast, honestly, and astounded that Shopkeeper Dog didn't spot that. He's going to feel a little more than a little silly, I would predict. And look at this, we've got a star pad floating. He's kind of setting the signal. Yeah, I don't need Wraiths anymore. I'm just going to use this for vision. And you know what? They'll soak up some of that Valk damage.
Oh, yeah, he's baiting the Valks in.
You got to watch out for that, though, because the Goliaths took a lot of unnecessary damage from the Phalanxes because they also joined the Valkyries in their crusade against the star pad, the symbol for all things evil. Wraith's now trying to dart downward just to see what's going on with the defense now that they've picked apart the bottom left main. I guess they're just going to sit here and intercept incoming Masons, which isn't a bad show, but you can see the ground army shifting down there, reinforcements, instead of coming in to continue the contain. They're going to isolate this bottom right base, and at that point, what really do you have up your sleeve if you're Dog? There's defenses and units sort of scattered all about, even some busted units at the ramp here for Mystery Meat that weren't able to get through. And that's going to feel pretty bad, because if you try to go in a counterattack with your Gorgons and your air units, it really isn't going to work out too well for you. Masons might be able to get out here, but the Ramses do have that kinetic penetration just like Cyprians. Oh my god! What a massacre there in the bottom right. Down to 86 workers. That Ministry should be able to get out of dodge, but maybe it'll start to burn. I'm sure it can be repaired. We'll be able to escape.
No, he's up to 16 Gorgons. He's getting close to Doomstack numbers here. I mean, he might be able to pull some reverse micro of his own here.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the only problem here is that the armor pen of the Ramses exceeds the armor of the Gorgons, so they will penetrate. It's sort of like, you can think of the Ramses as a successor to the Cyprian in the fight versus Gorgons, which are a successor to the Wraith. It's kind of funny that we wound up here with the same sort of thing. A lot of vultures out. See if maybe they can overwhelm this bottom right area, free it up for another base, but instead, he's going to head to the bottom left main. There are no defense. Well, I say there's no defenses. There's a single sentinel. Not going to be able to hold off this number of vultures here. Tier 3 now on the way. Mystery Meat was talking about that in the lobby. He said, does anybody even get to Tier 3? How about you, sir? How about you? Desperately trying to repair the sentinel. It will not be kept alive, but the Wraiths are here to help the battle workers clean up this vulture harassment. A lot of them getting hung up on this Ministry in the bottom left natural, so not ideal.
Yeah, I don't think he could really afford to throw all these vultures away right now. He's not really going to be able to get enough damage to make this worth it, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if he was just hoping that maybe, like Dog himself in the bottom right, there wasn't really any anti-ground defense, but that one Sentinel ended up being not enough to avoid all damage, but a good amount. Now, there are still Ramses over here, and they are splashing the ever-loving life out of the Gorgons. A total wipeout with regards to them between the Cataphracts and the Ramses. And now Dog is just like, wait a second, what do I even do now? Gets a Cataphract at the end of it for his I don't know what you would call that, a Pyrrhic victory maybe. But you can see the artillery here.
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah, GG has to be called. Mystery Meat has done it off of the early harassment, proving perhaps once and for all that quarries are overrated. What do you think about that one, JujiK? That was a hard-fought victory for Mystery Meat, and yet still, it was... I don't know, man. That was I was surprised to see that. I was surprised to see that in action because I feel like Dog had the opportunity, had the ability to just kind of macro out of that once he got the safe area, but he's probably never had to deal with a Wraith opener.
Yeah,
Welcome to Cosmonarchy, brother.
I think the Wraiths definitely slowed him down a little bit and kind of put a wrench in his game plan there, but I think it was really close and it was kind of back and forth for a lot of that. The main thing is, like you said in the cast there, he just was so focused on just staying on tier 1 for too long. I think if he had a slightly faster tier 2 timing, he could have had a way better transition there before the Cataphracts and Ramsey stacks started building up on him.
Yeah, fair enough. I can agree with that for sure. I mean, the main thing I would always look at when it comes to TvT is the map control. And that's assuming you get into an even game, which I don't really want to say it was even, but it was like, it was very asymmetric. It's that they had different benefits, like after the first 10, 12 minutes of the game. Like Dog had bases, but not very good saturation, and a good army, but not really able to cover all of his bases. And Mystery Meat had the mobility, the kind of a lackadaisical army, but his control of the map was really helping him out there. And so even though it wasn't like dead even in terms of a one-to-one thing, map control still ended up being the deciding factor. And I guess maybe another sort of weird topic or a difficult thing to try to cover, but tempo, like if you understand what I mean by that, is like he had the tempo, he had the advantage of setting the pace of the game. Dog had to react. And that's something that I've noticed when playing against Dog, when watching games that involve Dog, is that Shopkeeper Dog loves to take the fight to the enemy and be aggressive, and he's tried 8 Fulcrum, which is like an incredibly fast timing for a production structure. He's tried all sorts of crazy timing attacks versus Zerg and stuff. I don't know about his versus Protoss as much, but as far as his versus Terran, his mirror matchup, I don't think he's played that many versus Terran games. The only other recent Terran player that I can think of is Zopes, and I don't think that they're on at the same time, so everybody else is, it's just Mystery Meat really holding the banner, trying to regain control of it. He is in the top left as our Ultramarine, I'm guessing. No, it's Zafir. God damn it. Zafir, blue. Never would have guessed that one. And man, now the pressure's on. This isn't just regular red. Is it Scarlet? Oh, it's Vivid Red. Well, I really suck today. But you know what? Those are hard colors to guess, man. Those are hard colors to guess. That's Dog in the bottom right. And you know what? He gets an earlier scout off this time. This is a 2-spawn map, Cold Sweat by Veek7, picked by Mystery Meat, going for Fulcrum Quarry. He's kind of like saying, all right, I'm going to copy your build. And it's pretty much the same thing. Look at it across the field. Vulture.
Yeah, it's a pretty symmetrical opening this time. No Wraith shenanigans yet.
No. Mystery Meat likes to do that. He opens Wraith. That's what he did versus Dead Infested. And I'm not sure about his games versus Jack Yelansky. I want to cast that. He did defeat Jack 2-0. And Dog defeated Biddy B 2-0. So it was TVZ, T victory the whole time through. Look at this. Mystery Meat posturing with his Mason, putting some damage onto that Vulture and saying, hey, back off, boy. I got my Mason bodyguard here.
Shopkeeper had a Mason of his own, but it's retreating now. It's decided it's not worth...
That's right, yeah.
Healing that up.
No need to. Just there for the mines, mostly. A little bit of damage can be done, of course.
Okay, so Mystery Meat leaning on the Vultures here. Shopkeeper Dog's going more for a Cyclops build. Let's see how those trade into each other. I'm not really sure with the Terran units. This is probably the race I have the least experience with, so...
Yeah, I imagine that's one of the reasons why you were thinking, oh yeah, let's see this mirror, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
Vulture plays Minesweeper. Cyclops pushing on forward. Vulture is going to fall back for Mystery Meat. Doesn't want to incur too much area damage, so he gets out before those procs hit. I think Vultures are kind of similar to Wraiths with their mobility, but obviously them not being hover units, like air units, makes it really hard in close quarters areas. But if you're in the middle of the map or outside the choke, I feel like you can kind of use what Drakodins use to bully the Cyclops, only taking their direct damage and a little bit of their splash maybe. But
Yeah.
the Cyclops are still here standing guard. It's just that after a certain point, I think it's after 4 vultures, you start to one-shot them. So it can be pretty dangerous to play this.
Yeah, Shopkeeper kind of delayed his second fulcrum here. I don't know if he scouted the 2 fulcrum open from Mystery Meat or not, but his timing on this one is not too bad, though, because they're pretty even on units still.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, the mind stuns everybody. A pacifist moment, but the Cyclops reigns supreme at Mystery Meat's ramp. He did trade Vulture for a Cyclops. Maybe that means something. I don't know. It's so funny because this actually makes it look like, oh yeah, you just build, Fulcrum is your basic structure. If you never saw this game or you don't even know Starcraft, you look at this and you're like, yeah, Fulcrum, your basic structure, right? And then as it turns out, it's actually like, one of 3 structures you could theoretically open with, although practically nobody opens Starpad. They go later after a stockade usually. And, it's kind of interesting to see. This does look more like traditional TvT, except for some reason there are walkers instead of more vultures. You know what I mean? If you're comparing it to StarCraft 1.
Yeah. Both players doing pretty economical opening, though. It looks like nobody's really putting on any massive aggression here. They've kind of thrown down some mines and decided, we're going to sit back and macro up a little.
Yeah, we've actually got 4 fulcrums here coming for Mystery Meat. His Palladium much later than Dog's. The first phalanx up for him much faster than that of his opponent. But the Starpad finished faster for Meat. Kind of seeing how these build orders are deviating a little bit here. And you know what? That exploratory vulture, it's worth its weight in gold as far as moving around and still getting a little bit of map vision. It drags away the vultures to cloak this move out. And I wonder why. Like, Mystery Meat is going to chase this one down and kill it. But he does need to watch out for the Cyclops push with the Phalanx. However, at the same time, Dog could get flanked here, right? So he's got to be careful himself. He's only got slow-moving units like the Cyclops and the Phalanx, especially the Phalanx, left over here.
Neither Starpad yet building anything.
Oh, boy.
Oh, did he actually lose that, or did he cancel?
He canceled the stockade, yeah. It was just in construction, but probably part of the wall. But the Phalanx timing here, definitely favoring Dog. We could go to Maxiom for a game 3, guys. It is a possibility, but before I get too excited about that, the Phalanx for Mystery Meat is up. So I feel like he'll be all right here. Dog only now putting his natural down, and the Treasury is going to finally start to evade, but it will end up being destroyed. So fully denying that. The Vultures do come in, but they were softened up earlier by the Phalanx. Mystery Meat going to see if he can commit to this push, and indeed, he will be able to destroy the Phalanx. That ends up working out nicely, but thins the herd on the military units, and, what are you going to do with these Masons? You're already mostly saturated in the main. I mean, putting them over there temporarily would be a good move, but
Trojan out, no Anseal yet. The Shopkeeper, he's down one. He lost his army, and he's down 1 Fulcrum right now, so he's definitely got to add something here, I think.
Yeah, Mystery Meat valuing tempo above all else. Treasury, again. He did go Ministry expand behind the rates on Rageslave, but going Treasury twice in a row now? He's saying, I want the tempo. I concede that if you have Ministry, I'm just going to fall behind in workers or what have you, but I want the tempo, and the 4th Fulcrum does speak to that. Stockade behind the Starpad, Trojan out.
He's not pushing, though. He had such an advantage here, and he's just kind of not really leaning into it.
Now, this is a little ballsy from Shopkeeper Dog, with no vision of the enemy base, leaving with 4 Cyclops. Meanwhile, a sieged Phalanx is en route to Dog's base, courtesy of Mystery Meat. And there's not really anything sprang up for a reaction. One of the things I praised Mystery Meat in the last game for was leaving units all around a little bit, just for the purposes of kind of answering any pushes, drops, air unit raids. And Dog also, to his credit, kind of insulated himself on Rageslave from drops, but this time not really going to be the case.
2 tanks here in the main.
Yeah, and he's going to have Vultures out pretty soon. He's got 2 at the choke. Is he going to remember to pull them out fast enough?
Oh.
What's the reaction time here? He hasn't looked at his base. 3 workers going down. He's microing his own Cyclops. Mystery Meat should be able to react a little bit fast here. This Phalanx already stacking up the kills there. Has a lot of them himself. Sure, you can go after this Vestry. No, Dog hasn't looked at it. He hasn't noticed. Is he playing with sound off? There we go. Finally going to be able to pull them out. Scramble a response.
Oh, he does get the...
Was that the quarry hat on?
Yeah, on the quarry, yeah.
Doesn't scoop up that straggler Cyclops here, but I do like what I'm seeing. Both players trying to use their stuff. You can see the preemptive pullback here from Mystery Meat, trying to get all of the workers out of dodge. Definitely an advantage here in favor of Mystery Meat as far as the workers go. Using the ice to his advantage here. South of the third, or east of the third, I should say. He's unloading on the Cyclops. He's unloading the Cyclops on top of the workers to do splash damage. That's cute. Points for that. But my man, you need some more workers.
He does have a position at the third as well. I'm not sure he has enough units to actually defend it at the moment, but he's got to get his main back saturated.
All right, the Trojan's dead. Phalanx is going to be able to deal with the rest of this Goliath by itself, but there's more units incoming for defense. We've got another Phalanx drop in conjunction with that. Surely Dog will respond to this one a bit faster. By the way, this is already something that we've tried to direct a little bit of balance towards recently. It's just we didn't end up pushing it to this patch in time. And it makes it so that you have to play the deployment animation, right? The siege animation for the Phalanx when you unload, which definitely increases the amount of time you have to respond to the minimap signal and a couple of other things. But it's something we're aware of. But Meat is going to go ahead and help.
It'll be nice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's actually not as bad for Terran as it is for the other races, because the other races just, their workers die in one hit. So it's a little bit worse. It's a little bit worse for our Protoss and Zerg friends out there. I say that on behalf of our Terran players, but you know, in TvT, it's definitely been pretty good. That being said, Dog's almost back up in worker count. Mr. Meat historically has had the tech timing, though, so gotta watch out for that.
And Shopkeeper Dog's going to be ahead in Fulcrums here in just a moment once this finally sets in.
He should definitely try to respond to this threat, but he's kind of being a little tepid with his reaction. Wants to, you know, see what he can do.
Oh, he is going to catch it out here, but will he be able to? No.
Not going to be able to kill it now. He should definitely station like 1 or 2 units in a watchdog or something in the north of his base, but he's got his own set of drops, and he just wants to pump a lot of his own military units out of these fulcrums, maybe try his own hand at the Phalanx drop. You can see him preemptively moving 2 Phalanxes into the main. But that's not where Mystery Meat wants to attack. He wants to coincide his Cyclops push, as well as a couple of Phalanxes out across the ice pond there. He wants to coincide that with his mech push. So this third is definitely under siege. A lack of rallies on the fulcrums as well, so you talked about the advantage, but it's not going to automatically start ferrying in here. A little bit of a death drop on top of that Phalanx. Trying to maybe flank using the tank mode of the Phalanxes, but it's not going to be effective at actually picking apart the enemy artillery here.
No, Shopkeeper's just blading units here. It's just not going to be enough.
Well, he queues up a lot of Goliaths, try to spend down his float. Mystery Meat, on the other hand, has a lot himself. Going back to macro up, now that the treasury has finally been destroyed. Got his own up, but no mining there yet. A lot of Masons idle. Oh boy. I'm wondering what all these Trojans are for. We got Trojans out the wazoo for multiple all-Terran players right now. But more Goliaths, more Fulcrums, you know, more Phalanxes. It's going to be a tough defense, but Dog is still in it. He is behind, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, and now Meat transferring an entire stack of 18 workers over here to his third, so he's not at saturation yet, but he's going to be close already. And all of this off of like 2 production. He does finally tie on the quarries. I guess he did that a few minutes ago.
Yeah, but it was much later in the game. Now this Goliath stack is going to be able to deal with that one sieged Phalanx, but the deployment on the other side, it's kind of protected a little bit too well. Mr. Meat gonna try to dive in. That's a mistake, unforced error. Gonna get you know, pushed backwards. But that one Phalanx really being an anchor for his position there. Third base coming up on 6 o'clock. The Vulture has found its way wiggling over to the bottom left. Not able to scout there entirely. Probably a mini-map task.
Mystery's got to watch out. He's got a lot of units here. He might just bleed.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of there. A lot of clerics in particular. That's almost, not that it actually is more valuable than the Phalanxes, but it's almost as valuable. Now here we go. Trying to push in yet again. Going to take this opportunity to force the army back, but is Dog going to do that? Is he going to just try to rally? His army's stuck in the middle of the map. Now going to go ahead and fall back to try to protect the natural. Yeah, I think you're right, JujiK. I don't know if he can really hold this. Phalanx in the back, completely abandoned. It will go down. Mystery Meat artilleryless right now, but still up by 30 plus workers. And that Trojan is going to go down. Multiple of those transports going down. More workers being picked at the end with all these vulture focus fires.
Vultures getting their worth right here, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, dog. You got to dig deep, my friend. A lot of resources in the bank. The Atlas nearly finished for your opponent. Up a base. Vulture protecting the top right and the bottom left, making sure no free mining is happening. So Mystery Meat definitely has tempo, has control, has tech, has money. He's got almost every advantage possible. But do you have that dog in you? That's the part that plays in like the highlight reel when he makes his comeback.
No, he still hasn't even gone up from this 4 fulcrum though, and he's floating so many minerals here. Like he could have actually probably ended this game at this point if he just threw down some more production.
Yeah, a little bit lackadaisical on the static defense as well. Some Sentinels getting slapped together there at the last second, and his third base will have to be evacuated. Transferring a couple of workers up here to harvest the Vespene from the top right, but that's not going to really matter too much. So the treasury does go down. Dog giving himself a little bit of sign of life. None of those Sentinels got canceled. That is kind of significant. Those are a decent amount of resources, especially now that they cost Vespene. There was a time when Mystery Meat played way back when that they were mineral only. You could imagine the pain.
This tank position on Cold Sweat is strong.
Oh yeah, big time. Not exactly an overhang for the natural, more of an overhang for the third. You can see Dog just trying to establish a little bit of a contain. TvT can be a lot about positioning. So is Mystery Meat in trouble? I say probably not. He's adding 2 starports. He can definitely just spam out Sundogs or something to that effect. That was a favorite strat of his back in the day, if it got to tier 2. Interesting, he's not going for captaincies. I find that kind of peculiar. A little bit of splash damage being taken as Dog's going to transfer himself over to 12 o'clock. Ministry will be canceled here by Mystery Meat. He cannot save it.
Yeah, we really need to see Shopkeeper Dog looking to go for tier 2 here as well if he wants to keep up in this game, I think.
You just can't really match the economy, right? And that's a pivotal thing. If Mr. Meat decides to cap his geysers, he will liberate himself of a lot of minerals, for one, but also he'll enjoy the benefits of extra Vespene, which he's already kind of getting from the top right and the bottom left base, is actively mining those. Loaded Star Pad, decides it's not necessary anymore, uses it for scouting. Brood War feeling strategies, and the kind of strategies that make you think, man, is this Brood War? But it is not. It looks a little bit too fun for that.
Shopkeeper Dog suddenly has the worker advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, you let your finger off the trigger. No third base, remember, for Mystery Meat. Sort of distance mining. Star Pad now burning. Could be repaired if he wants to reestablish it, but Dog's thinking about... You know, Goliaths are uniquely like... You know, they are kind of dog-like units, if you think about it. They want to go hunting, you know? They want to go rapidly attack.
I can feel that.
Atlas only now coming in, the 17-minute Atlas, tier 2, on the way here for our dog, our hometown hero. Vulture's coming in here to deny some static defense from being set up. Another Sentinel gets destroyed. A little bit of tempo, sees the treasury is back there. Does Dog want to force the issue? Nice minefield hit to punish Mystery Meat from pushing out here. Not a great amount of splash damage in place for Dog to immediately punish that, but he still gets so many picks there. Vulture's definitely proving themselves useful in this series for both players.
Yeah, and so Shopkeeper was down on workers, he was down on military. Now he's ahead in workers, and the military gap is not that big at all.
Well, Wyverns have been assembled by Mystery Meat. That is his next play. And I don't think they're particularly good against the Goliath stack, but if they can escape into the worker lines, we have seen them do some significant damage. Now, they have been... I think since the last time I saw an actual tournament game or any sort of casted game, like I think it was that TvT Shambler played against Top Ramen. Since then, that was the last time I saw Wyverns in action. They have actually received some changes. They have a little bit of a wind-up delay before they fire their shot, similar to Architect, Paladin, Uptecton. That Phalanx is not going to be long for this world over here at the 3 o'clock position, and these Vultures are getting caught here. Mystery Meat not even using them to lay mines yet. Feels like a bit of an error. Going to go ahead and try to rectify that now. A little bit here and there.
Here the Wyverns are creeping on over.
Yeah, and there's no anti-air defenses still, despite the drops earlier. There's a couple of units here, but...
He doesn't have any scouting here or anything. He's not going to be ready.
Oh, no sentinels being set up here at the 6 o'clock is also going to punish. I feel like we're about to witness another death of 1,000 cuts here for Mr. Dog. Wyverns are going to start doing some damage. Masons are surprisingly a little bit safe from that while constructing because of the armor penetration rules. But they are going to be happily attacking a lot of the workers here. And again, you think, oh, let me just go to my worker, my rally point. Oh, wait, I have 3 Goliaths and a bunch of vultures blocking the way. Not exactly the most useful thing. So the Wyverns are going to go ahead and annihilate these workers. It does take a little bit longer than maybe Mr. Meat is used to because of that wind-up, but that's okay.
Now, even losing the entire base, he is still ahead in workers. He is getting his tier 2 delayed here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He did not see it. He doesn't see it.
Oh my goodness, all those Masons could have died. More and more Wyverns coming on in, but the Goliaths have repositioned to protect the 3rd base. Kind of operating in multiple spaces, but they're going to sync up now. The count higher than it was before after those reinforcements. And with the 3rd base fully operational, I don't know, man. It feels to me like, these phalanxes, they're going to get a lot of efficiency, but they will be overwhelmed here. Not going to be able to unsiege in time. Look at the middle of the map as well. A bit of a combined arms force here. Air support has been established. Cataphracts on the way for Shopkeeper Dog. Responding to what Mystery Meat made last game and saying, oh yeah, those are good units. He's got 1 phalanx and 1 vulture protecting the 4th, or I guess the 4th base at 6 o'clock here. He can deploy the phalanx at least. But he just wants to attack move that. They're pretty wounded units. Mr. Meat just doing a little bit of a tempo play. It's not spectacular because he's not like pairing it with something else, but he is actively trying to secure a 4th base at 12 o'clock. That being said, his Wyverns are getting hemorrhaged here in the middle. The vultures are kind of taking a little bit of damage there, but it's only the 1 phalanx over here. I'm really worried for Mystery Meat's position. I think Dog can A-move him.
Yeah, Dog's just had a lot more production. He continues to expand his fulcrums, and he is spending down his money a lot better. We still only see 4 fulcrums out for Mystery Meat, so...
Yeah, that's right, and he's been trying to rely on the air superiority strategy into a player who's got a lot, and I mean a lot of Goliaths. A lot of them died, and he still has 13 of them with this army just scaling forward. And oh no, the Wyverns are on a follow order onto the Shaman instead of attacking.
Oh, no.
We've all seen that happen before. Oh my god. Well, the question is, does Mystery Meat get dejected? He can still decide to pivot out and deny it. But look, his phalanxes that were in that cold sweat cliff position you were talking so much about, JujiK, they've actually gotten evacuated. That's pretty crazy.
Wyverns are bugged.
I will tell him after the game that he was on follow. Because they are shooting fine, as you can see. Unless he found something else that I'm not aware of.
Uh-oh, battle workers on the tanks.
There
One
it is.
tank down, 2 tanks down.
Hey, the supporting fire from those Wyverns helping out quite a bit, but the real heroes were the workers.
Now, Shopkeeper Dog did hemorrhage his army here, and he does not have a lot of gas left, so we're going to see a lot of vultures, I think.
I think when you see a chat message after all that, you think, oh, my opponent is saying GG, but instead, he was not.
Yeah.
So he might have just left the fit, like, he's like, oh yeah, I win somehow. But no, he's still going.
With the imperfect information you have in the game, it's hard to tell sometimes, but I mean, I think it's too close a position to be typing at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Hey, the 9 o'clock is going to get taken by Mystery Meat, floating a treasury down there, resetting his sentinels. Another death push will take some time to muster up, but 3 o'clock now operational, coming online, I should say. Top right and bottom left still completely undeterred, but the gas has been operational there. And look at this, just moving forward with the Goliaths and the Cataphracts. I don't think that the Air Force can really do anything over here.
No, Mystery Meat has just expanded more starports behind this. He said, forget the Goliaths, I'm just going to outproduce them.
I mean, you can try that, but the worker advantage has not been on our blue Terran side for most of this game. Shopkeeper Dog is using the walkers to their fullest efficiency. No phalanxes here. GG is called. And Dog ties up the set.
Game 3.
Finally, we get a game 3. I mean, I say that there have been a couple here and there, but by and large, these have been 2-0s. So, very cool stuff. We will go to Maxiom, a 4-spawn map, to decide it. We had a 3-spawn map, then a 2-spawn map, and now a 4-spawn map. Dude, we're getting all the numbers. Now we just need the one spawn map, which is when you, you know, you both spawn together and it's battle workers to the duel of the fates. All right. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. We got a little bit of a BRB here, so I'll just ask you your opinion a little bit on what you just saw. Because I thought Dog was out. I thought for sure he was facing elimination. Well, not really elimination, but lower bracket. Lower bracket. And, you know, this is a best of 3 to decide who faces Veek in the upper qualification best of 5, right? So this is a consequential match, and we get some... Oh, yeah, that's right. I have to tell him.
Oh, yeah. It was on follow, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting matchup, though. I mean, I think we can see clearly that if you give Shopkeeper the time and the space to do his macro, he can really pull ahead on you.
All right, well, let's see what we can make happen in this 3-game set. Mystery Meat has to combat the tilt and see if he can overtake Mr. Dog. I think that the idea of going air superiority made some sense, but, you know, it's one of those things that you have to follow up with a good ground army, and you were pointing out the fulcrum count never really scaled up. A lot of minerals for both players there for a very long period of time. But hey, you talk about air superiority, that can work on Maxiom when you get these horizontal spawns. Shortest distance by air on this map. We've got Mystery Meat in the bottom left. I'm going to guess he is Vivid Red. It's just regular red. I would have guessed that, but I saw Vivid Red earlier. Now I'm second guessing myself. And I'm going to guess Shopkeeper Dog is Bronze. Okay, at least I got that one. Redemption.
Nice.
Close spawns on this map have shorter rush distance than Russia. I guess he must be listening in. Are you feeding him this info, JujiK?
No, I'm kind of wondering how.
He's probably just saying
thing
that.
To say.
Yes, I don't know how he figured that one out. But it is a stockade opener for Mystery Meat. He's got a lot of Vespene coming as well. Are we predicting yet another star pad play? This time for drops, maybe? Because that is what Mystery Meat is kind of known for, but he went for wraiths in the last.
Yeah, I think we saw if you you know, hit Shopkeeper Dog with something to keep his attention busy and kind of keep him distracted, you can kind of pull ahead of him pretty good. So I would lean on it personally. I'm not sure what his decision is going to be on this, but if he does go stockade and he's going to lean into that more as like a normal build, I do hope he puts down a little bit more production. In the last game, he could have even gone with, you know, a bunch of captaincies or something to spin down that mineral bank, and he would have probably been fine.
Oh my god, he's doing it. He's doing it. I've only seen Top Ramen do this before. And here's Mystery Meat doing it. Stealing the resources. Minerals, and then gas, and then minerals, and then gas. It's so silly.
He's gonna pull out.
I thought he's dead anyway because the vulture is definitely going to catch him. But I guess, you know, if he goes the wrong way with the vulture, it could take some time. But he's actually presciently here for Mystery Meat going to the wrong spawn in case the vulture does check up on him and is like, oh, here you are. You're going. I know where you are. But
I believe in him. I believe in him. He's going to get out.
It's so funny that Mystery Meat scouts the close spawn after Dog says that. But no, Dog is actually going to go the correct way. Wrong way if he wanted to kill the worker. And the worker's going to come down here and maybe think about building a something. Got the Mavericks here. Good for a scout. Star pad is indeed on the way, by the way. On the way, by the way. Could have a Trojan. Really depends on if we see a second star pad, we know what it is. But if we see oh, it's a second star pad. Yep. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Wraiths. Oh my god, the Mason is still alive. Avenge him, Mavericks!
Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, but the mine.
There we go. There we go. Just putting a little bit of pressure on. Cyclops are fine versus small numbers of Mavericks. If you get the right position, just like, I know I must be like, people must listen to me who struggle versus the Cyclops, and they're like, do you just think any unit counters the Cyclops? But I swear, with just the same way that I was talking about Dracodons and Vultures, Mavericks can also counter Cyclops. You just need the right kind of engagement. It's just a crazy amount more demanding to micro the Mavericks than it is to micro the other units, because if you don't micro, they just die, and then you lose the fight.
Yeah, the main difference, the stockades can just pump these guys out for the cheap. So even if you don't take the best fight, you're still trading pretty well usually.
Yeah. I'm kind of not disappointed in this set because it's definitely delivered, but a little wistful that we didn't see a second stockade, you know, because I really like the idea of going mass bio into the sort of play that we've seen historically out of Shopkeeper Dog with the mech, because I feel like that kind of bio play can work. But we are going to see that Vestry add-on. Second Wraith is now up. Second Star Pad, pumping them out. Third Wraith now up. Is he going to move out on 3? It looks like maybe he will. The Vulture. Ooh, yep. Okay, there's no way that he saw that Shimmer, I'm going to call it. I don't think he saw that. But he could have. He could have maybe, theoretically. The anchor revealing itself with the Wraith over it might have been enough. Let's see if Dog has noticed that. That's like such a minor amount of information. But you know what? Here he is with this Cyclops. So maybe he did see it. Maybe he did.
Oh, they're not going to be in position, though.
Yeah, loses one.
One down. Okay, that's going to push him out.
Yeah, even gets a Wraith, too. Nice. Moving out fast is like kind of a double-edged sword. We were talking about this in your set. I was talking about this on your set with Son of Alcatraz, where he had done the Grand Library first. And then I mentioned how, like, if you had just moved out with the first Vassal, you get, like, 3 worker kills. That's a kind of rough thing to try to know, because you have to fight against, like, if I go there and he has a response, which you must expect with the Fulcrum Opener, that he's got Cyclops, then if I go there too fast with too few units, I'm not really going to get much damage. But if I wait too long, then I'm going to get even less damage and probably have, like, I guess I'll be more down the barrel of spending so much money on Wraiths when they're being countered. So, I don't know. Like, if he just abandons this from this point forward and doesn't make any more Wraiths, kind of transitions into mech or bio or something like that more directly, then I would actually say Mystery Meat's kind of understood the state of the game, because with the Cyclops, the faster Goliaths, still making a Phalanx, like Dog will still have kill threat once the Wraiths are no longer a threat. And he's just kind of sitting at home waiting. So I'd say this looks good for a Dog victory here.
Oh yeah, he's actually doing a really good job holding on to the space. And he is going to have the Ministry instead of the Treasury here on the expand, so...
Yep.
We already see him up quite a few workers. He's going to probably pull ahead even further here. Now, you do have to kind of watch out, because, I mean, even with a good response, you can't be in multiple places at once. So once you start expanding, these Wraiths in high enough numbers can still get damage in if you're not...
Yeah, it's a little rough, too, because he's expecting to move out with the first Phalanx, and with no anti-air defenses up whatsoever, that is going to hurt him. The Madrigal will finish, but it can easily be sniped by enough Wraiths. This isn't enough to immediately snipe it, but his Phalanx is going to have a lot of work cut out for him with all the anchors here.
Now, he has made a Madrigal, but he hasn't deployed it just yet. Here we go. Oh, it's too far away. No, get in there.
He's going to zone it away a little bit, but a lot of workers did end up going down. Mystery Me now has the advantage of 5 Goliaths and Phalanxes combining their forces to try to snipe out some of these anchors. And really, Mystery Me can't fight this army head on. There is no hope for him, even when he gets all of his Wraiths together, to be able to overwhelm this force. He's got the Shaman up, but he's just trying to buy time for his own Palladium, and this can be nerve-wracking. Just inching forward, just doing more and more damage. And remember, your Masons are taking splash, you know? This is pretty rough.
You have to have a counter to this Phalanx.
Oh my god, he even dives in too.
Oh no, he left it unprotected.
Now that is good timing there. Almost, I got baited in myself. I was thinking, oh my god, Mystery
Meat. Oh, he's getting baited into the base. Now he might still be able to overwhelm this. Oh no.
No, when you lose the Cyclops like that, you have no more, right? You've got 0 splash damage left. So that was a critical fumble from Shopkeeper Dog. I got baited myself, JujiK. I was thinking, dude, he can just charge in and kill these anchors. Not realizing, of course, that the Wraiths had repositioned. Nice play from Mystery Meat. That was not like a foregone conclusion that Mystery Meat wins that fight. Like I said, he was severely outmatched. He needed to use positioning to his advantage.
No, I think he's done a really good job with these races in both games as we've seen. He's used them to good effect. Always, flying around the outsides of the fights, finding these little pickoffs.
We'll have to see if he can continue to do it. Making Goliaths, double Fulcrum here, so Shopkeeper Dog still committed to the anti-Wraith play. He's got his Madrigal out. Goliath's in play as well.
I will say his Ministry play did pay off here because he is going to start to pull back ahead in workers, it looks like.
Yeah, he's going to lose a couple.
But he has nothing in the base, though.
Yeah, just a couple of Wraiths, a couple of Watchdogs, rather, and they will end up being destroyed, trading it for just one Wraith. Everything else getting alive in terms, getting out alive in terms of health, and can return to the Shaman.
Yeah, Mystery Meat's been doing a really good job just kind of flying around the base, picking off workers in production. He delayed the Ministry earlier as well, doing the same thing.
Watchdog's now coming online here to help defend this Madrigal, which, by the way, if you put down an anchor, you can put the undeployed Madrigal in there, and the splash damage can definitely help you out. But same for a Lodestone, but nobody's going to build those, dude. Only I build those, and like I think two other people. I think Ramen does do it later on, but
I have seen a couple people building them.
There you go. See? Lodestone advocate here. I tell you, buy Lodestones. I have Lodestones to sell you. I don't know if I have tournament wins to sell you, but that's a separate thing.
I think honestly it has some value though, for sure. Just, kind of not having to have the Witness out or like the Ancil out, the Scout. It gives you a little variability in build, I think.
Oh. Okay, the rates are going to be a little bit lackadaisical on their approach, but at least they pick off the Vulture. And I thought for a second maybe the Goliaths could chase down those rates that were slowed by the Lobotomy Mine, but not going to end up happening. Just trying to quiet the map control that Dog is attempting to secure. Maybe pick off a single Goliath, but not actually going to end up happening. No healing yet for Dog, so any damage on these Goliaths might as well be permanent, because I really doubt he's going to use Masons to repair them.
Now, Mystery Meat is a little bit ahead on the expand timing, but again, he's going Treasury, and he's already behind in workers, so I'm not sure about this. I'm not really sure. Shopkeeper Dog's... Actually, one thing about him is that he has a lot of experience, it seems like, on the timings and like how to break down when to get the Treasury over the Ministry.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of... I mean, he made a spreadsheet explaining worker growth related to quarries and not quarries. So yeah. He definitely has like put a lot of thought into the theory behind it. What really surprised me is finding out he used to play Protoss in StarCraft 1. And he's like, yeah, I like killing vultures with Dracodons and or Dragoons rather. And so, he doesn't like the Dracodon as much as the Dragoon for that particular purpose, I guess. So he switches to Terran. Funny reason, but I won't begrudge anybody what they liked best about either game. Coming into this one, though, Hysterian has been a menace. And, again, he was seeded up as a high-seeded player. He was the superior seed, dropping that first map. But will the Wraiths help Mystery Meat out yet again? Already starting to lose some. Mine's doing a nice job revealing those Wraiths ahead of time. At least Mystery Meat has some phalanxes out now.
Yeah, he does have one problem. There's not really anything else on the ground to defend them, though, so
yep.
He's got to be pretty careful here. Once again, I think he's not putting down enough production. He's already behind.
Well, you say that, too, and I guess the other thing to point out here is that Dog could himself put down more Fulcrums, but with the amount of Vespene he's got in the bank, and the quarry coming up here at the third base, I'm kind of just speculating / guessing that what he wants to do is go for a faster tier 2. He's starting to make some vultures out as well. That will help him sort of charge the front and deal with those phalanxes, but the Wraiths can really easily snipe that stuff out, so you gotta be so careful.
Yeah, I really do hope we see an earlier tier 2 out of him here, because both players should be probably going for it around this timing, it seems like.
Yep. Atlas now on the way here for Shopkeeper Dog. First game out of the set that he's actually gotten it before Mystery Meat, so that is worth noting. Now, these anchors are going to be leapfrogged forward. A cute strat, but with the Goliaths here, they are just going to get annihilated.
Yeah, that's not going to do much.
And there goes the vision,
for these tanks.
Yeah.
So we got to get these phalanx out of here quick.
Well, they are softening up those Goliaths quite a bit. So even though 2 of them are going to go down, well, I said that, not even 2 of them are going to go down. The Wraiths, surprisingly effective.
The Wraith count is insanely high again.
And they even sniped that phalanx on the way out, too. So that is a rough go of it. Starting to go for Goliath Cleric here. Dog just wants to hold on, but the Wraith Anchor Phalanx creep forward. I have not seen this one before.
Looks like he is going to throw down some more Fulcrums as well, so maybe he'll be able to catch back up here if he plays defensive.
Well, his vultures were kind of already too far in to...
he can't be bleeding any more units now, though, for sure.
Yeah. He's making a lot more Goliaths. Got his magical up as well. Oh man, there's so many Phalanxes here. It's just double Fulcrum, double Palladium Phalanx, and the line is too strong. Dog pulling the trigger too fast.
Yeah,
that might be a let up. Yeah, he's gonna take his, his foot off the pedal there and just say, you know what, if I can't push him out here, I can't win. And that is a surprising end to the series. Shopkeeper Dog relegated to the lower bracket. The comeback was not complete, although it did look good after a certain point. Mystery Meat just finding the Wraith play, working out for him. He will face off against Veek7's Random in our winners qualification match, which we will try to schedule very, very soon. That wasn't the end that I expected, JujiK, but I thought we saw some very dynamic mirror matchups today. So I can't complain, man. Those are some really cool games.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of different range. I do actually really like that Wraith opening, and I think that kind of transition back into air, kind of back and forth to throw your opponent off. Like, we didn't see him make a lot of Wraiths for a long time, and then suddenly there's 15 Wraiths, and now you don't really need the ground army because they can't fight into the Phalanx and all those Wraiths. So, yeah, I thought that was a really nice play.
Very, very cool stuff. JujiK, thank you for joining me for the cast. Some very cool things that we got to witness there. Just over an hour. I was going to say just under an hour, but no, it's over an hour of TvT. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will be back for more Cosmonarchy, so stay subscribed, stay tuned, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys very soon. GG's, and let's see who's actually going to be the tyrant after all this.